Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. I am Kapil Chauhan and you are watching Technical Academy. This is our lecture number 32 in Electronic Devices and Circuits. In this lecture we are going to study about the PIN diode. So we will start with the introduction to the PIN diode. Then we will study about the construction and structure of the PIN diode. Then we will be studying about the working of the PIN diode under the different biased condition, that is zero biased condition, forward biased condition and the reverse biased condition. So we will start with the introduction to the PIN diode. So the diode in which the intrinsic layer of the high resistivity is sandwiched between the P and the N region of the semiconductor material. Such types of the diode is known as PIN diode. So why the PIN diode is named as PIN diode? Because it consists of the three layers, that is P region, I region and the N region. So its name is called as PIN diode. The PIN diode is a type of the photodetector used for converting the light energy into the electrical energy. So it is a type of the photodiode or the photodetector which is used for converting the light energy or the photon energy into the electrical energy. The electric field induces because of the movement of the holes and the electrons. As we have seen that the intrinsic layer is having high resistivity. Due to this property, it is going to create an electric field, and the electric field induces because of the movement of the holes and the electrons. And due to this movement, an electric field is created. The direction of the electric field is from the N region to the P region. So we will be studying about the electric field, how the electric field is generated in different cases. The high electric field generates the large number of electron hole pairs, due to which the diode process even for the small signal inputs. So even we are due to the high electric field intensity, even if we are going to supply even very small signal, then it is going to operate. This is the symbol of the PIN diode. This is the symbol for the normal diode also. So the symbol for the PIN diode is like a normal diode normal PN junction diode symbol. And this is the basic structure of the PIN diode. This is the P region. This is the I region, that is intrinsic region, which is sandwiched between the P region and the N region. This is the N type material. So you can see from this figure, this is the junction of PI, P region and I region junction. This is the NI region junction, and here we have applied the biasing potential. Depending on the biasing condition of the diode, it is going to operate in different modes. So we will see now we are going to study about the PIN diode construction, that how PIN diode is constructed, which types of materials are used for the construction of the PIN diode. So the diode consists of the P region and the N region, which is separated by the intrinsic semiconductor material. In the P region, the hole is the majority charge carrier, while in the N region, the electron is the majority charge carrier. So we are familiar about these basic terms. The intrinsic region has no free charge carriers and it acts as an insulator between the N region and the P type region. The I region has the high resistance which obstruct the flow of the electrons to pass through it. So the intrinsic layer is having very high resistance. Due to this property, it is going to obstruct the flow of the electrons or the holes across it, and it is going to act as an insulator medium, or we can say that it will act as an dielectric medium. We will see in the reverse bias condition that how this layer is going to act as an dielectric medium. Now we will see that what are the how is the structure of the PIN diode, what are consisted in the structure of the PIN diode. So the intrinsic material silicon which is used is not purely intrinsic in the middle region of the diode. Thus the either slightly P type called the pi type or slightly N type called the V type silicon is normally used in the practical PIN diode. So the reason is that P region and the N region are also created with the help of the silicon, either silicon or the germanium. So practically it is impossible to use the pure intrinsic semiconductor between the P region and the N region. It means that what I am trying to tell you is that I region may possess either the property of the P region or the N region, slightly N region. And the width of the depletion region W may vary in the range of 1 micrometer to the 1 micrometer to the 200 micrometer, depending upon the type of the application of the diodes. So you can see this is the structure of the PIN diode. This is the cathode where we will apply the negative terminal of the battery, and this is the anode where we will apply positive terminal of the battery in case of the forward biasing. And this is the incident photon energy or the light energy which is passing through the N substrate. This is the N region, this is our I region, and this is our P substrate, that means P region. And after the incident of the light energy, it is going to convert the light energy into the electrical energy. Now we will be studying about the working of the PIN diode under the different biased conditions. So we are going to start with the working of the PIN diode under the zero biased condition. The working of the PIN diode is similar to the ordinary diode. When the diode is unbiased, the charge carrier will diffuse. So we have studied about the diffusion, that the word diffusion means that the charge carriers of the depletion region try to move to their region, and the process of the diffusion occurs until the charges becomes equilibrium in the depletion region. So what does it mean is that it is the diffusion process is going to occur until the number of the free electrons is equals to the number of the holes. So you can see this is the circuit diagram for the PIN diode under the zero biased condition, where WZ is the depletion width. The depletion width of the zero biased condition will be moderate. It means that it will be higher than the forward biased condition and less than the reverse biased condition. So you can see in this figure that this is our PI junction, this is our NI junction, and here we have not applied any biasing potential. It means zero voltage is applied over here, or we can say that unbiased condition. A PIN diode operates under what is known as high level junction. So this is the basic principle of that. This is the basic principle of the PIN diode, that how the PIN diode is going to operate. This is the basic principle. In other words, the intrinsic I region is flooded with the charge carriers from the P region and the N region. So high level injection means is that the number of free charge carriers, that is number of holes from the P region, and the number of the electrons from the N region is going to be filled inside the I region. So it will be flooded with the free charge carriers. And the function of the PIN diode under the zero bias condition is analogous to the function of filling an empty bucket. So you can see this scenario with the help of the figure. You can read this theory part. Suppose that this is our empty bucket with some number of the small holes inside it, and the bucket is empty initially, and now we fill this bucket with the water. Then what we are going to observe over here is that the water is going to come outside from it, because the level of the water is filled across this. So the same scenario can be applied over the PIN diode region. In I region, as the number of the free charge carriers flooded, then the number of charge carriers are going to move from I region to the P region and the N region, and in this way the current is going to be established from P region to N region. Now we can say that the number of free electrons are going to move from N region to the P region, crossing the I region, and holes are going to cross from P region to the N region, crossing the I region. So current will be generated in the direction from P region to N region. So now we will be studying about the working of the PIN diode under the forward bias condition. When the diode is kept forward biased, the charges are continuously injected into the I region from the P region and the N region, and the injected charge carrier concentration is typically several orders of the magnitude higher than the intrinsic concentration. So what does it mean is that the number of the free charge carriers which are coming from the P region and the N regions are in the several order of the magnitude of the intrinsic free charge carriers which are inside the intrinsic layer. So this charge carrier, the number of free charge carriers, as the number of free charge carriers is increasing across the I region, the resistance of the diode is going to decrease, so it will behave as a variable resistance. So we can say that the resistance of the diode is dependent on the current. As the current is flowing across the circuit and the current is increasing, then the resistance of the diode is going to decrease, so it will behave as an variable resistor. You can see this is the circuit diagram for the forward bias condition of the PIN diode, where we have applied voltage V across the PIN diode, where positive terminal is connected to the P region and negative terminal is connected to the N region. This is our Ni junction, this is our Pi junction, and here W is the depletion width of the PIN diode under the forward bias condition, and the depletion width of this region is very small in comparison to the zero biased condition and the reverse bias condition. So if the width of the intrinsic layer W is much smaller than that of the diffusion length, the charge carrier which enters from the P region and the N region into the I region are not immediately recombined with the intrinsic region. The finite quantity of the charge stored in the intrinsic region decreases their resistivity, and due to this high level injection, which in turn due to the depletion process, the electric field strength extends deeply, almost the entire length into the region. It means that the electric field is going to increase. By this relation it is very clear, it will be very clear from this relation, as we know that electric field is given by E is equals to V upon D, where V is the V is the potential and D is the width. D is the width between the two charges. So it is inversely proportional to the width. As the depletion width is going to decrease, the electric field strength will increase. So the force experienced on the charge is given by F is equals to QE. It means that as the electric field is increasing, the force experienced on the charge is also going to increase. So this electric field helps in speeding of the transport of the charge carriers from the P region to the N region, and which results in the faster operation of the diode, making it as a suitable device for the high frequency operation. Now, so this is the same figure for forward bias condition. Now consider that the Q is the quantity of the charge stored in the depletion region, and the tau be the time used for the recombination of the charges. The quantity of the charge stored in the intrinsic region depends on their recombination time. The forward current starts flowing into the I region. So the charge equation of the charge can be given as IF into tau, where IF is the forward current which is developed across the diode, and tau is the recombination time for the charges. So the resistance which is developed across the diode can be given as the resistance Rs of the current under the forward bias is inversely proportional to the charge Q stored in the intrinsic region, and it is given by W upon mu n plus mu naught into Q. So this is our equation number 2. Now from equation number 1 and equation number 2, we will get the value of resistance Res is equals to W upon mu 1 plus mu naught into IF into tau, where we have substituted the value of Q here as IF into tau. The above equation shows that the resistance of the intrinsic region depends on the width of the region. So as the width is varying, the resistance is also going to vary. So it will behave as a variable resistor, where the meaning of the W is the width of the depletion region, and this is mu n, which is electron mobility, and mu naught is the hole mobility. Now we will be explaining about the working of the diode under the reverse bias condition. So when the reverse voltage is applied across the diode, the width of the depletion region increases as the thickness of the region increases until the entire mobile charge carrier of the I region swept away from this region. So the thickness of the PIN region, I region, is going to increase until the whole number of the free charge carriers are swept away from here. So the reverse voltage which requires for removing the complete charge carrier from the I region is known as the swept voltage. So this swept voltage is required for the removing of the charges which are present in the I region. Now we will see the working circuit diagram for the reverse bias condition. So this is the circuit diagram for the reverse bias condition, where you can see this is PI region, and this is the NI region, and WR is the depletion width for the reverse bias condition of the PIN diode, and here V is the biasing potential, where we have applied negative potential across the P region and positive potential across the N region. So the diode is under the reverse bias condition, and the electric field is generated from N region to the P region. You can see this is the direction, and the depletion width of the reverse biased PIN diode will be too much larger than the zero biased condition and the forward bias condition. The intrinsic layer between the P and the N type region increases the distance between them. The width of the region is inversely proportional to their capacitance. So if the separation between the P and the N region increases, their capacitance is going to decrease because of the inverse relation. So this characteristic of the diode increases their response time and makes the diode suitable for works like a microwave application. So such types of diodes are used in the microwave applications. Now we are going to derive a small derivation for this. In the reverse bias condition, the diode will behave like a capacitor, and we can say that this will act as a transition capacitance, as we have already studied about the transition capacitance of the diode. So here the P region and the N region act as the positive and the negative terminal, positive and negative plates of the capacitor. So what we can say that this is going to act as a parallel plate capacitor, where P region and the N region are going to act as a positive and negative plates of the capacitor, and the intrinsic region is the insulator medium between the plates, and it is going to act as a dielectric medium. So the capacitance of the diode is given by C is equals to epsilon into A upon W, where epsilon is the dielectric constant, and A is the area of the depletion width, and W is the depletion width, and this is the Ft is equals to 1 by 2 pi into rho into E, where Ft is the frequency at the recombination time. This is the minimum frequency which is required for the operation of the diode, where rho is the charge density, epsilon is the permittivity, where A is the area of the junction, and W is the intrinsic region thickness. So the lowest frequency at which the effect starts to begin is expressed as the above equation we have seen, the equation for the frequency. Here epsilon is the silicon dielectric constant. So friends, if you like this video, then you can subscribe my channel for the more updates, and you can like my video. You can share this video to your friends if you think that this video is helpful. Okay, thank you.